My name is Casey Collins and I'm the CEO of Prairie Meats. And today I want to share some of our family favorites that we get from Prairie Meats that helps us get through the busy times. We all have busy lives with families and activities, and I'm hoping that some of these ideas might help you spend more quality time with your family at mealtime rather than just running around. So what I got here today, stopped in at my local Prairie Meats and picked up 3 fresh chicken kebabs, and nice size. You're looking at about an 8-ounce portion. So each one of these, like for a lot of kids, they'll feed 2. But in this dish, you'll see that it just gets cut all the way up. So we've got 3 of them here, and then I've got a baking sheet with some parchment paper on it. And what I'll do is I will just put all 3 of these kebabs onto this sheet, and I will pop it into an oven at 375 for about 20 minutes. We'll check the temp halfway through. Sometimes they cook a little different. We'll flip them halfway, but let's just get them in the oven and get them going. So our chicken's done. So I'm going to take one of the nice kebabs off, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the meat here, probably just for each quesadilla, probably about half a kebab works, because we're just going to dice it up fine. So I'm just going to give it a quick little slice through each piece, and then I'm going to cut it again into smaller strips. And you know, you can prepare your meat before, so this is great if maybe you have some leftover souvlaki. Sometimes what I do is I'll cook off 2 or 3 at a time and then cut the meat up and actually freeze it when it's like this, and then I can use it another time. So rather than having to cook souvlakis every time I want to make quesadillas or wraps or something, I just pre-cook the meat, throw it into a Ziploc bag, throw it into the freezer, and it allows me to have that meat a little bit later. Pulls out, I just throw it onto a fry pan and warm it up or something like that. So we got our diced chicken, we got our tortilla shells, and we got our nacho cheese. So let's start assembling our quesadillas. In our quesadilla, so I take 1 tortilla shell and I just put it down on the griddle. Now if you have a frying pan, it works just the same, but you just want to have it big enough that it's totally has a little bit of room, and you're going to need to turn it over, right? So if you're using a frying pan, one of the tricks you can do is putting the tortilla right into the frying pan, putting your cheese, and I'll show you that, and actually putting a plate and doing a flip. But I use the griddle. A lot of people might have a griddle outside in the summer they might use as well, and this works really well. So the first thing I do is I take a small amount of the cheese and I sprinkle it all the way around. Some of it's going to fall off of the tortilla, which is okay. You can scrape those up and they end up being really nice and crispy. So we're going to give it a healthy amount of cheese, and we want that cheese to start to melt so it holds the chicken in place so your quesadilla doesn't fall apart. So we have our cheese there, and sometimes what I do, if my chicken, because I've cut it up so it might cool off, I might throw it onto the fry pan too, just to give it a little bit, warm it up a little while the cheese is melting. And this helps actually warm up the chicken, the cheese gets nice and melted, and it actually makes everything come together a little bit nicer. So we're going to let that go. Just going to, some of that cheese that fell over, hooked it up there, so we'll let the cheese and the chicken just start to melt. And it takes about 2 or 3 minutes to kind of get this up. I got the griddle set at 400. If you're using a frying pan, it would probably be, you know, a medium heat, maybe even medium to low, because you don't want to burn any of this. And if it's too hot, your tortilla will get really crispy, but the cheese won't melt, and then you're not going to have that consistency through the middle. It's not as complicated as maybe it sounds, but it is about low and slow with this to get that nice melt of the cheese, right? So you can see it's already starting to go. The chicken is getting sizzling a little bit. So we'll let that go for about another minute. Let both of them get nice and gooey, and then we'll combine them, add some more cheese, and then we'll get them flipped over. Okay, so our chicken is heated back up again. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our spatula here, and we're just gonna sprinkle the chicken across the quesadilla. And got a little bit under there, we'll get that out. Make sure not to burn yourself. All right, so we got all the chicken there. We're just gonna make sure it's all spread out across the quesadilla. Okay, and then we're gonna add a little bit more cheese so that it connects the next tortilla on top. Okay, a little bit there. And we're gonna take our other shell and we're just gonna give it a little press on top so it's all good. It's got a lot of movement there. So if you've got a fry pan and there's not a lot of room, this is where you just take a plate and then you could just flip your frying pan over like this and then you can slide it back in. But if you got the griddle, what I'll do is I'll just put my hand on it and I'll just turn it over like that. So it's got a little bit of brown and you'll see like the tortilla will start to shrink in, like this one's a little bit smaller than that one. But we'll let that go now for about another 3 to 4 minutes. So our quesadilla is finished. We got a nice brown on both sides, as you can see. And now it's just time to assemble. So I just give it a real cut down the middle. A lot of times I'll just flip it over like that. And then 3 cuts. And then you end up with an easy plated chicken quesadilla with our souvlaki. And what I'll do is kind of show you, I'll pull one apart here. So you get the nice gooey cheese with the meat inside, which is great. And all we do when we serve this, a little bit of sour cream on the side. Sometimes, you know, maybe a side of, you know, the tater tots or something like that. But real simple, pair it with a salad or, you know, some raw vegetables, carrots or cucumbers. And it's a simple, easy meal.